friends.
Hey.
This is Daniel Dennis. You've probably heard me say his name a lot before because basically every studio version of every song that I've made, it's been in this room with this guy. We just spent the entire day today working on a new song that's going to be really epic.
It is awesome.
So we are a little slap happy, we are a little delirious, but we are going to do a Q&A for you guys. I asked you guys for questions and now we are going to A them.
Yay.
Start on Facebook.
You're going to edit this to make me look cool, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you know, I can only do so much. Alright, so our first question is from Heather. She wants to know, first of all, what is your go-to music app for recording and songwriting? So do you want to talk a little bit about like what you use on here to make everything sound as good as it does?
Sure. I use a program called Digital Performer. It's by a company called Motu. A lot of people don't know about it. I actually used it back in college at MTSU and fell in love with the program. Was running Pro Tools at the time, and I swore if I ever had my own studio set up like this, I would be running Digital Performer, and I've been doing that for 15 years now.
You're one to get a lot of like plugins.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I
So
also use a program called Reason, which has kind of like a built-in drum machine module that we use a little bit, and some other like synthy kind of stuff. Of course, we got a ton of synthesizers that we can pull in for plugins, and that's all running through Digital Performer.
And Omnisphere is one of the ones that we use for a lot of the sound effects that you've heard in like big dark songs like Monster or Battle Cry.
Just
all
a lot
of
of
those.
textures that are kind of like weaving through and stuff.
Yeah, so you got lots of toys. Lots
Yeah.
of toys to
I bought a lot of
work with.
toys because of her. I'm like,
I mean,
oh,
you know.
I need this thing, and I get excited.
I ain't sorry about it. Our next question comes from a gentleman named Mark Crowley.
Who's that guy?
I don't know.
Sounds familiar.
I don't know. He's pretty handsome from his photo. Mark wants to know, as a songwriter and producer working in Nashville, there are countless amazing musicians living and working around you. How do you find studio musicians to come in and work on tracks? And are there any interesting, good or bad experiences that you've had with musicians that you brought in?
Well, Nashville is just filled with amazing talent. And a lot of times it's just word of mouth. I'll have one player come in and I'm like, oh man, I really like how this person plays. And they're like, oh, you should, check out this bass player, this fiddle player, and then I contact that person and bring them in. And over time you start to build this corral of players that really fit the way I like to produce.
Again, from Mark Crowley, because I guess he just...
I like his questions.
Yeah, I mean, he did a good job. Since you two have worked together on all of your music as a single artist and producer-engineer, how do you find ways to keep the music and the sound fresh and avoid it getting stale or repetitive?
Okay, two ways. The first way is when Beth comes into the studio, she's like, I don't want this song to sound like anything we've done before.
Yeah.
That gets my wheels turning in a different direction of like, okay, maybe we should try to do something a little different this way or this way. And the second thing is I get really inspired by her music, and I'm constantly buying new plugins, new synthesizer plugins, new sounds, different textures, drum samples, and just anything to like really bring it to the next level every time we get together.
It's unfair because there's so many positive comments on my videos, but all it takes is like one person to be like, I feel like your stuff's all starting to sound the same, for it to like plant itself in my brain and be like, oh my god. So there's been several times where I've come in and been like, okay, we have to like really make sure that we are doing something totally new because I don't want people to think that I'm getting repetitive. So I am probably like, I probably hold myself the most accountable. Now I'm going to head over to Instagram, and I asked you guys questions on both Instagram and Instagram stories, so I'm going to start on my Instagram post. If Trinity Was White says, who's the worst person you've worked with? I'm not going to say any names.
Don't say me.
Yeah. No, I've been really fortunate that all of the people that I've worked with have been really great. The biggest issue that I've had is that a lot of times creative people are not great with deadlines and communication and schedules and stuff. So I am not that way. I am
She's a boss.
Yes, I'm about a schedule because that's the only way I can keep my life together. So I've had a few people that I've worked with that either came like really close to not making deadlines, and that's always frustrating, but it's not like any of them were ever like bad people. I just got really stressed out right at the end. If people add to my stress level, which is already really high, it's not, great. But for the most part, all the people I've worked with have been really cool. Have you ever had, don't mention any names, but have you ever had anybody that was just like awful to work with?
If it gets to that level, I won't do it.
Yeah.
It's, I got to be into it. But like for the most part, most people have a certain strength, and I feel like one of my best qualities as a producer is to find that strength and then put a magnifying glass on that. But everybody's cool that I work with.
I'm sorry we don't have any like exciting stories about horrible people.
Yeah.
Coffee and Vi says, is there an artist you would really want to work with?
Somebody asked me that the other day, and we got done seeing Keith Urban, at a show, and they're like, do you ever want to like work with those, that level? And I'm like, I want to be the guy that develops an artist and produces an artist from the ground level and gets to that level. Like, that to me, that's like the highest achievement in what we're doing.
My Lady of Story says, as your husband can play guitar and has done in previous videos, do you think he'll ever come to the studio and work with you? Which is funny that like...
Has he even been here? He's been here once,
He
right?
was here.
Popped in.
Yeah, he came in for a little bit when we were doing Pretend It's Home, the very first song that we did together. And I just felt bad because somebody coming into the studio, like, it really is a very long and tedious process. I mean, we spent an hour and a half today going through different bass sounds. And, like, that's not a very glamorous, fun thing for somebody who's not involved to, like, come and sit and watch. I would say, if anything, we would probably try and work something out, like, at home and then be ready to come in and have them record. But I think that would be really fun. Okay, Alyssa Merrill says, what process did you go through to find the producer that you did? I literally, when I moved to the Nashville area, I Googled, like, pop producers, like, Nashville studios. And there were, I think you were, like, a couple in the first, like, 5 or something. Because I went through a couple of websites and listened to the stuff that people had on there to see if I liked it. And I liked your stuff and reached out. And I guess the rest was history, right?
Yeah.
Beef Luna says, do you come up with the lyrics first or the melody? I know for me, and Daniel does some songwriting too, so he probably has a totally different process. For me, it's usually like a little lyric snippet and melody. So like both of them together, but just like a piece. And I kind of build off of that. Do you start with one thing or?
Yeah, usually I'll just kind of play something on the guitar and I'll just kind of hum along and I'll kind of land onto a melody and I'm just kind of saying some random words. I'm like, oh, that's kind of a cool little phrase, and I kind of start building from there. Sometimes I start with the title. Like if I'm co-writing with somebody, I can start with the title, kind of work around the hook, and the first verse usually comes, pretty easily, and then the second verse is just like, why?
I always have the hardest time with, like, I'll get a verse chorus, and then it's like, I don't know what else to say.
And then sometimes I get inspired by other music, and, if I'm inside, I don't have a guitar, then I just have my voice notes on my phone and just kind of hum real quietly because I have 2 babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do the same thing, but I can hum as loud as I want because I have
a dog. Yeah.
And 2 cats that don't care. This is a question for Daniel. This is an interesting one.
All right.
Ceci the Fangirl says, Daniel, is Beth's music something you normally listen to yourself?
That's a juicy, juicy question. That's a juicy question.
I know.
I'm going to say this first.
Okay.
As a drummer and, guitar player, I am not naturally drawn to piano-based music unless there's some sort of gateway drug that hooks me in, like a top 40 pop kind of thing. Kind of like Sarah Bareilles. I wouldn't be naturally drawn to the piano thing, but then she had like, the love song,
Right,
It's just like, oh my god, it's so good. And then you start diving in, you're like, oh my god, she's like a really incredible singer, and it kind of opens the door. So I feel like there's certain songs with you that would open the door, like 2007, God, With You, like that one, yeah. So, and then the new one that we're working on too, like if I would have heard that, I'd be like, oh my god, who is this? And then I would start just digging. And then another part of it too is like I hear production and music first, melody second, and then lyrics are like the last thing that really register with me. And then I feel like with your music, your lyrics, we're talking about Taylor Swift, like I feel like you've got a lot of what she has from a lyrical and melodic standpoint
Yeah.
to where it's just like, oh wow, you say things in a conversational way that it seems so simple, but it's so hard to like capture that. Yeah, I know.
Okay,
I know.
thank you.
Yes, it would take the song to get me there.
Yeah. Lyrics are one of the first things I pay attention to. And then probably like melody and then production. So.
Lyrics don't hit me until I'm mixing the vocal.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, oh my god, this is good ass song,
Yeah.
you know?
I mean, I think people just have different like priorities and what they listen to with music.
But that's what makes, working together so great is that you have that balance there, and my head is just filled with like, oh, we could do this production wise.
Yeah.
And I can
For the most part, I'd be like,
know?
I hope that he would listen to my music because he flipping made most of it with me. So
I still listen to it. I love it.
if Trinity Was White has another question, why do you feel you two make a successful team? Do your personalities complement each other's, or are they the same?
I think we have the same taste in food. I think
Oh,
that's,
God, yes.
That's probably a big part.
Yeah.
I
I think we have a very similar sense of humor.
Like we just talked about, we have the balance of creatively.
I think there are a lot of people in this business that take themselves really, really seriously, and neither of us are like that. So I think it helps us work better together because we're not both like super like dark and serious, and you know, we like to have fun. Let's do like a rapid fire session.
Okay.
With the questions that we got from Instagram stories.
Let's do it.
So, have you ever been to Serbia?
No.
Me neither. What is your favorite song you've written?
Song I've written?
Yeah.
The Reindeer Song. It's an original Christmas song called The Reindeer Song. It was kind of a local big deal.
This new one that we've just finished is up there with me. I mean, I think probably every new song is like my favorite for a while, but this new one is really special, so I'm very excited to share it. Do you have any advice for aspiring singers?
Sing out live as much as possible. The clients that I work with that I've noticed the biggest improvement in is that they start performing live more. I mean, your voice is a muscle, so the more you use it, and the more you sing and stretch those muscles, the better you get. And that's kind of what the name of the game is for just beginning.
As a performer, work on stage presence, because somebody can have the best voice in the entire world, but if they're super boring on stage, then that's what people are going to remember and not how nice their voice is. So just work on being like very comfortable singing in front of people and having some personality and having some fun with it. How do you decide the order of your albums? Which I'm assuming this means like the order of tracks on an album.
Yeah, song order.
Yeah.
We kind of go back and forth. Actually, Madison picked one of the orders, didn't she?
I think so, yeah.
My wife.
Yeah, so his wife actually does my hair and makeup for most of my like video shoots and photo shoots. So we keep it all in the family. I remember with Porcelain Heart, which was the most complicated one because that's the only full album we've done. You really just put it in several different orders and listen all the way through. There's obviously things like try not to put two slow songs back to back, or like...
You want to have that wave, you know? And then some songs kind of end in an acoustic way, and then if another one starts in an acoustic way, then it's just kind of the same. So you kind of have to, it's a little dance.
Yeah, you just kind of play with it.
Around, yeah.
Where do the lyrics come from? From personal life, or... I know mine obviously come from a lot of books. Definitely personal experiences. I think even my songs that are based on books, there's always part of my own experiences that I'm drawing from, that I have some kind of lyric in the song that is from my personal life.
I just make up stuff when I write.
That'll work.
Yeah.
What is your favorite fruit?
Favorite?
Fruit.
Fruit? Blackberries.
I like blueberries.
Man, peaches. Good peach.
I like bananas too.
Strawberries?
Watermelon. Lemons. No. I don't think anyone's favorite fruit is lemons.
No.
Favorite book ever?
I don't read a lot of fiction. I read more like non-fiction, businessy kind of stuff.
Can you guess mine?
Harry Potter?
Yes! How did you know? Was it my Harry Potter tattoo or my Harry Potter
Well, it's the fact that you and my
shirt?
wife bond over Harry Potter,
That's
and then
true.
I'm just like...
Favorite ice cream flavor?
Ooh.
So we went from fruit to ice cream.
Okay, so there's a place called Jenny's Ice Cream here in town, and they have a Brambleberry Crisp, which is like a blueberry crumble thing mixed in with like vanilla ice cream, but it's in a swirl kind of thing. Oh, it's so good.
Okay, so there's a ice cream place that is in Atlanta, in the Atlanta area. And they have this ice cream, and it is like a honeycomb ice cream. So it's like,
okay.
it's almost kind of like a butter pecan, but with like real honey layered into it.
Wow.
It is so freaking good. All right, and then I guess a good one to end on is, when is your new song coming out? Because we just finished working on it.
Yeah.
I'm working on doing a lyric video and a music video for it. I guess you guys can expect that hopefully mid-July. And then we are also working on something exciting for the 5-year. I can't believe it's been 5 years. 5 years since Porcelain Heart released. So like September, October is when you can expect something
Pretty
Porcelain
cool.
Heart related. So
Pretty
it's
cool.
exciting.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me after a long day of recording.
Long, awesome day.
It was a great day.
You don't understand how awesome this song is that she's about to release.
It's exciting.
It's really cool. What did the kids say?
It's a bop.
It's a smash.
It's a banger.
It's a banger bop. It's all of it. It's
Oh,
so
we
good.
just aged ourselves a lot. Thank you guys for submitting your questions, and
if you haven't already, follow her on Spotify.
yes,
Make
and YouTube,
Yep.
and just all the things. Just
Spread the word.
yeah, because we got lots of exciting stuff coming. All right, guys, I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.